Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today I'm going to do another Spotlight review, which is where I take a game I've invested in myself and tell you a little bit about how the game plays and why I like it. Today we're looking at Cascadia. This is by Flatout Games and AEG. It's created by Randy Flynn, and I recently received the Kickstarter version of this. Let me tell you what I think about it and show you a little bit about how it plays. I'm not going to do a full unboxing, but I want to explain a little bit about what comes in the game. If you want to see a full unboxing, I'll post my link to the unboxing I did before up above. But there's a rule book, very clear, really beautiful pictures, explains how to play it with multiple player counts, gives a little information about Cascadia. It even in the back has information about solo mode, and then also some achievement modes if you want to try to track your achievement over multiple games. So some interesting opportunities there to just track achievements over time if you'd like. And then the art by Beth Sobel or Beth Sobel, I'm not sure how you say it. Just beautiful art. I love the way the game looks. Inside it's very simple. You just have this cardboard insert, but you got these nice thick cardboard tiles. And then in terms of the components, you've got the scoring pad. You've got all these different tiles with the different tokens. There's these starter tiles, which have 3 hexes each, and 5 of them come in the box. And so each player is just going to take one of those. And you've got these pine cone achievement tokens. And this is a finished solo game. I just wrapped it up and scored it. The tokens come in this nice cloth bag. And then you've got these scoring tiles. Now, in the base game, every animal that you're scoring, so for the hawk, for instance, there's a choice A, B, C, and D. And then for the fox, same thing. There's an A, B, C, and D. For the elk, same thing. For the bear, same thing. For the salmon, same thing. So you can mix and match those. You can design whatever sort of scoring you want for the game. We've played all the A's, B's, C's, and D's, and the Kickstarter ones, which are here. So we've tried all of them. We haven't mixed and matched them yet, but we've tried all the sets, and they all score a little bit differently. And then also inside is a family variant, which simplifies the game pretty significantly if you're playing with younger players or people who've never played modern board games. And then on the back, an intermediate variant, just slightly stepping that up a notch. And so those also come in the base game. Now in the Kickstarter game, which I have, you get the wooden tokens, and then there's also these Kickstarter promo cards. And on the back, it just gives an expanded version of the rules. And this is what I just recently played. And so there's the fox, the elk, the bear, the salmon, and the hawk. So basically you have 5 different cards for every species if you get the Kickstarter version. And these cards tell you how you're going to score at the end of the game. So let me briefly explain how you play the game and how you score it, and then I'll tell you what I think about it. So when you're playing the game, and again, this is already finished, but you would normally just start with this and no tokens on it. One of these and no tokens on it, and you always have a set of 4 tiles here, and there's a token by each tile. And on your turn, you're going to take one of these tiles with the matching token. So I could take this set or this set, this set, this set. You can't mix and match them unless you've already earned one of these pine cones, these achievement tokens. If you haven't earned one of these, then I could play it back to the supply and I could take this combination. Now the way you earn these is by placing a token on one of these tiles that has all one terrain, and you can see there's a little pine cone emblem on them. So when I placed this bear token on that bear tile that's all water and has the little pine cone token, I earned one of these. And so later I could pay it to mix and match my choice of tile and token here. Another thing you can do with these, if you have one that you've earned and pay it back to the supply, is you can wipe these tokens and put new ones out if the animal tokens that are there don't match what you're trying to do. This game is very puzzly in the sense that ideally you want to try to match the terrain to other similar terrain as you're setting out your board. However, you don't have to. So if I had this green forest terrain, I could actually put it right there, which is touching no other green forest terrain. It's possible. It's a legal move. Now, it may not be to your best interest, because not only are you trying to score these tokens by the patterns that are laid out on these cards, you're also trying to get the largest terrain for each, or largest corridor of terrain for each of the terrain types. And on the scoring, you can see you're going to score for the mountains and for the forests and for the wheat fields and for the wetlands and for the waterways. And if you're playing solo, any terrain corridor you have that's 7 or more tiles earns you 2 bonus points. And multiplayer, whoever has the largest terrain corridor earns bonus points, and it depends how many points you get based on how many players are playing the game. So let's talk a little bit about how you score using these cards. So let's take the Hawk, for instance. On this one, it's a unique one, unlike all the other ones. Obviously, they want to mix it up. So in this one, you're trying to get your Hawks out on the periphery because you score actually for having space around it with no tiles. So this one has 1, 2, 3 spaces with no tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've got 15 empty spaces around those Hawks that I've placed. So I can look on here. If I have 3 or more, I get 2 points, and on and on. I scored 15. So man, if I could have got one more, I would have scored 14 points. But as it was, I only scored 10. And each one does a similar thing. So for instance, on the Grizzly Bears, on this one, if you're looking, you can only score one group size. And I just went for single bears. And so I scored 3 singles. Singles are worth 2 points. So I did that 3 times for a total of 6. You just follow the rules that are on the card and you score those accordingly here. You add up all your points based on the cards and the different animal types on your tokens. And then you add up all your terrains. So for my forest, I had 9, so I got 9 points, and it was more than 7, which scores me 2 bonus points in the solo version. And so you score up all your terrain, you add everything together. If you have any of these Pinecone achievement tokens left that you haven't spent, you also get a point for each of those. So, and just add it all up and see how much you earn. In a multiplayer game, the person who earns the most points wins. In a solo play game, then there's a scale in the book that tells you how well you achieve. So that is basically how you play Cascadia. What I enjoy about this game is, one, the art is beautiful, and granted, I have the Kickstarter version, so I have the nice wooden tokens, and I have the extra cards, but the pictures on the cards themselves, they almost look like photographs until you look a little bit closer. The art is just beautiful on the cards. And then the art on the tile is beautiful. The tokens have nice silkscreen printing on them, very beautiful. Just the quality of the components and the quality of the art is incredible in my opinion. And then I love tile laying games, and I love this sort of multi-level puzzle you're thinking about here. I know I have to take these in pairs unless I'm willing to pay these. And I also think, well, I want to extend my forest land, but I don't really want to play a salmon, or I don't have any open salmon spots. So you're always going to have those 3 spots open. Right now I've got salmon, and elk. So I can't even play these tokens, and if you take it and can't play it, you just lose the opportunity to earn points for it. So I would have to choose one of these 2 tiles, and maybe those 2 tiles aren't what I really want. So you're trying to figure out, well, what's the best tile to take, and what's the best token to take, and do I want to spend one of these that I've earned to try to take a non-matched pair? Do I want to wipe those tokens? How can I create the best scoring from both my tokens and expanding my corridors of the different terrains? There's lots of things to think about, very puzzly in nature, and I like those puzzly style games. I like tile laying games. So this one is actually becoming a game that is one of my favorites. I've just had it for a couple of weeks, but played it quite a few times, and played it both solo and with my wife. My wife also really enjoys the game. We played it with some friends as well. They caught on very quickly. It's easy to teach, easy to learn, and they haven't played nearly as many games as we have, and yet they found it to be really easy to play, and they enjoyed it a lot, said it was beautiful as well. And you can play it pretty quickly. Solo game I can crank out in 15 minutes, 2-player maybe 20 minutes, 25 max. It could be a little bit AP for some players. They really struggle, but there's not that many choices, so even that I think is a pretty minimum risk. So we just love it. You can play multiple games in a row because it's a quick game. You can just throw it in as a filler anytime, and it's just a beautiful filler with a nice puzzly nature to it. So rapidly becoming one of my favorite games. Even though it's pretty new to my collection, it already kind of feels like one of those feel-good sort of home cooking games, and I just want to relax. And before I received the Kickstarter version, I actually was playing it on the GitHub port online, and it only has solo there. I'll put a link down below, but you could try that out if you want to see if you like the puzzly nature of the game. But I highly recommend it. From our experience, we really love it. So if you have enjoyed this video, be great if you click on that thumbs up down below, and if you'd subscribe to the channel, that'd also be terrific. If you have questions about the game, leave those in the comments below, or if you've played Cascadia, let me know what you think about the game. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy, Indiana, signing off.